what we're going to talk about today is your placements when you find your chest voice and your middle voice. Did you see how my voice just changed? So I'm going to speak in my chest voice, middle voice right here, and your head voice up here. So right there. So a lot of us are really comfortable singing in one of these areas. And my goal as a coach is to help you learn how to sing in all three placements, because then that helps you have like a really full voice all the way through a song. So for example, you know, a great singer, she's an incredible singer, Adele, you know, she's taking a break now for vocal health reasons, which I might talk about a little bit later. But what she really did well was she sang in a really strong chest voice. And then when she went up to her higher notes, she would kind of, you'd hear kind of a flip, and she would kind of flip into more of kind of a head voice. And so my preference when I'm listening to a singer, sometimes she did it stylistically and it was kind of cool. My preference is that a singer can do it on command to make it flip, or they can smoothly transition from their chest voice to their middle voice to their head voice, like all the way up there, without this flipping and without losing strength and without losing power. So we are going to work on that today. So who do I have here today? Not sure if it even tells me. I don't think it does. So I don't know if you caught me, but I was doing the live from my personal page. So I swung back over here and then realized that the camera did this kind of wonky thing. And so anyway, technology. And actually, the sing course that I did it with a really amazing camera and Sennheiser microphones, and so you don't have any of this craziness. But for live, just so that we can kind of hang out, this works great. So let's talk about chest voice. Put your hand here, and for those of you that are watching the replays, you can always ask questions if you have any as I go along. So put your hand on your chest and say, hi. Hi, ho, like Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho. Hi, hi. Follow along with me. Hi. See how high you can go saying hi. Hi. With staying kind of in that chest voice. You want to feel it vibrate right here. Hi. Do you feel that vibrate? Hi. Now let's do ah. And I'm going to have you take it all the way down into where you're feeling and hearing a little bit of a vocal fry. Ah. And vocal fries are things that singers do to kind of they kind of do use it to kind of create kind of a bluesy or a rock sound. We're not going to go in that today. That's a fairly advanced technique. We're going to kind of stick to this chest, middle, head, but you can find that in the sing course. So then we're going to go ahead and move up. Now, did you hear my voice? It just kind of moved straight up right about here. So my sound, and what I'm doing is I'm really directing the sound here in the mask. So imagine you have an imaginary mask on your face. So you're just moving the sound right about here. So go ahead and put your hands just like this. Go hi, hi, hi. So it's a hi down here. It's not hi, hi up here, not all airy. I really want it right about here, and it's almost kind of like I'm pushing the sound. Hi, hi. Can you feel that? Good. Can you hear the difference when you kind of pull it up a little bit? I'm lifting right here. I'm lifting right here in my eyebrows. So it kind of lifts the sound, and then I'm pushing it forward right into the front of my mask. We can use the vowel. Let's do ga, 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 ga. Do you see how it throws it forward? Now let's try with ga, throwing it down here. Ga, ga, ga. It's a little harder. Ga, G is really easy right here in the middle voice. Now, a lot of teachers teach that there's kind of a chest voice and a head voice. And guys, you know, I'm not really going into real technical terms here. I'm really sticking to just very simple beginner terms. But guys, you will hear falsetto, but we're just going to call it head voice, okay, for everybody here today. And let's see. So let's go ahead and now let's put our hands right about here, okay? Now I want you to try to throw the sound up above this imaginary line right here. Hi! 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 So I'm going to do it kind of nasally. Hi! Now we're going to do it kind of a little bit of airy. Hi! So that's going to be more of your head voice. And this is a lot of times if you're going to a higher note, but you don't, even if you go to a higher note, you don't necessarily have to flip into head voice. A lot of people that have been trained, like have classical background training, which I did. I was a classical singer, opera, you know, very properly trained in the university. Loved it. It was fantastic. But then when I went to go sing more pop, rock, and jazz, I had to really learn how to find this middle voice, and to really strengthen my chest voice, because I was like this high operatic singer. I cannot see your comments down here, so I'm just going to pop up here to the camera. Hi, you guys. Oh, hi, Rory. Okay, fun. Good to see you guys. So, back. Okay, there we go. Oh, my son called right before the live and said that he and his wife and my 2 grandbabies are going to be coming out this weekend, so I got completely distracted when I was supposed to be having the cameras be like all perfect for you guys. But we're on, we're going. So does anybody have a issue specifically with not being able to go to one of those voices I just described? So do you have a hard time even finding your middle voice? Middle voice is probably the safest place to sing, and if you use your middle voice most of the time in a song, you're going to have the most control. You're not going to do those little let me see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sing a little tune. Rain, I'm going to do it in chest voice first. Rain, rain, go away. Rain, rain, go away. Now I'm going to let it flip up to head. It's going to sound a little silly because it's not appropriate for this song. Rain, rain, go away. Flip it. Oh, it sounded funny. Okay. Rain, rain. That's in my head voice. Rain, rain, go away. Rain. Okay. So there's a little bit of middle voice in there too. So what I want to teach you is how to go smoothly from your chest, middle, and head. But first you have to be able to find them on command. So here, hi, 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 right there. Okay, come forward. Ga, 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 ga. Do you hear that? It's more here. Nya, nya works great too. Nya, nya. So you kind of let it vibrate here in your nose and then throw it forward. Nya. Okay, now let's go to head voice. Nya, nya, nya. I don't have to be all classical. Here's classical head voice. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. We'll talk about, because right now I'm talking about your vertical placements, and tomorrow we'll talk about your horizontal placements and how you find the different singing zones. But for now, when you go up to your head voice, you can hit it really kind of farther back in your throat and kind of hit that more full classical sound. Okay, throw a huge vibrato on there, or you can throw it really far forward and I can try to pull all the vibrato out. Yeah. So that's kind of the different sounds that you can create. And like I said, I think it's really important that you find those sounds on command, and then when you're doing exercises, then we'll try to smooth them out and make it sound like one contiguous voice, which is great for most singing styles. However, a little caveat in here, you know, if you're going to be singing country music, you really want to learn how to flip through these placements up and down, okay? So a really great example of flipping between your voices is yodeling. I went sliding down the mountain on my bungaleti, my bungaleti, my bungaleti. I went sliding down the mountain on my bungaleti, my bungaleti. Oh, and now I'm gonna really flip. Oh, so you can hear I'm really flipping. So there are musical styles that it's really important to learn how to land those placements and then how to flip between them stylistically. And then it's also really important as a singer to learn how to be able to move through them really smoothly. So I'm going to show you my #1 vocal warm-up, and you've probably seen it on YouTube, or if you've studied voice with me, or if you studied with anybody else. They're sirens. And my students, when they come in, I'm like, start your sirens. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to kind of come here to the edge of my stool here. So let's just bend over, okay? If you're standing, go ahead and stand. Bend over. I'm going to stand. I think it's going to be easier for this. I want you to bend over, and I want you to really feel vibration here in your nose. And the reason I'm having you bend over is so you can feel the vibration in your nose. Okay? So when you stand up, I still want that sound to be really nasally. Okay, I'm not asking you to sing nasally, I'm asking you to do the siren really nasally. So we're going to start kind of in the middle voice. Go up to head. If you're a guy and I start in your range, okay? Let's start low. Now we're going to go up to middle voice. See, did you hear my voice crack right there? The way I got around that little crack is I pushed it forward. That's kind of into that mask that I talked about earlier. So, you can hear a little wobbling as I go from my one voice down to another. So the goal with doing sirens is to learn how to kind of smooth out these breaks. And this is a fantastic way. I think, Susan, you're on here. We talked yesterday about working on overcoming asthma and warming your voice back up to be able to sing again. This is a great way, #1 way, these sirens. I literally do them in the shower. I do them when I'm walking. I do them when I think of it, like if I'm doing the dishes. I always try to do them before I sing or speak. I did them today before. Got off the phone with my son, started doing sirens, and then threw the camera up. So they're the #1 best, easiest way. Now, I'm going to come up here. You can also do your sirens. Hope you're doing this with me. I want you to be doing this if you're watching this in the grocery store. great for breath control too. If you're doing it too fast, you could be like spitting, okay? So it's really about learning how to control the breath. Just by doing this alone, with no sound, is still warming up your vocal cords. It's vibrating everything. And so it's a great way to warm up your voice, especially if you're backstage and you need to go, and you're about to go on. You can't be making a lot of noise. Okay, you can do it quietly. So that is my number one way to move from your chest to your middle to your head voice. Let's start up really high in the head voice. Now let's do it with that N. You can really hear me flip, but I'm going to try to really make the flip on purpose. I went straight from head voice to chest voice. Did you hear that? I didn't even get that middle voice. It really helps, literally, if you push your hand forward. Let's do it together. I'm going to go from a side view. My low voice is a little scrunchy today. If your voice is scrunchy down there, do this. If you do it really lightly, it's actually good for your voice. Versus coughing. No. Don't cough or don't do that. Take a drink of water. And that's another great way, like I said earlier, for that advanced technique of being able to, I'm trying to think, okay? I don't want you to go into that. I really just want you to learn these placements. Does anybody have any questions? Because I see there's a couple people on here. Do you have any questions about this? I think really the number one thing to really kind of exercise these three placements is the N. So let's do it really nasally right now. Yeah, like Fran Drescher. So that really throws it in there. Yeah, that really kind of pop placement. Now, not all pop is real nasally. Country mostly is. Not so much anymore. It's a little more rock. But it's a great way to warm up. And then a more advanced technique is to kind of flare your nose. I want to come up. Sorry. Watch me flare my nose. I do it on command on the camera. Okay. See how I'm flaring my nose? Like that? Okay. So when I'm doing a siren and I want it to kind of have a little bit more of a full sound, or I want to practice that kind of full, somewhat airy sound, what I do is I kind of flare my nose and I add an H in front of the N. So it's hear that? Hear that? So it's kind of opens it up. And you imagine that you're singing out your ears. Did you hear that? So, for example, let's sing. I'm just trying to think of how do I? I'm really kind of not have my low end today. How do I get through one night? I don't have a voice today because I'm doing this live for you guys. How do I get through one night without you? How do I live without you? What kind of... So if I go up here, I can go it, sing it either like really forward in a real pop way, or I can pull it and keep it in my chest voice. What kind of life would that be? And I'm in my chest voice. And now I'm going to flip it. I went out of the head. That sounds too proper. There I went straight to my middle voice there. So I'm really trying to show that to you, even though my chest voice is a little weak today. So does this make sense? Now, for my speakers, this is really, really, really important, even if you're just, say, speaking on stage. Can you hear I'm kind of speaking and I'm actually kind of pushing a little too hard from my chest voice? So this is going to out your vocals, and I'm the perfect example today because I'm doing that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to raise it up here, and I'm going to try to talk a little bit more. Did you hear my voice tone change? I'm talking now more from my middle voice. So now I'm in a healthier placement, and I still have volume, and I can even talk a little bit quieter, and I can almost talk out my ears. Same with singing. So now I've kind of smoothed out my voice. I've got it in a much healthier range. So as singers, we should try to speak most of the time right about here. And for kids, if you've got some kids watching, I know we had some kids on yesterday, think of it as you have your basement voice. Okay, let's go down talking basement voice. We have our basement voice, and now we're going to go up to the main floor of our imaginary house. So on the main floor, that's where we have our middle voice. And then when we go upstairs, we go all the way upstairs, that's where we have our head voice, okay? So try to talk right about here. And it's got, for me, I have to almost go a tiny bit nasally and then pull a little back. So these are techniques that you can use to have a healthier voice and in singing. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so in the same course, I think some of you already have it, but if for those of you that don't have it, I go into each one of these, like chest voice. There's a whole module on that, and then there's a module on on all the different voices. So it helps you to kind of lock in a little bit easier. And I have some PDFs, and in your homework sheet there should have been a PDF that really kind of shows you where these placements are, kind of a visual. Some of you are more visual than others, so that should help too. You guys are just not having any questions today, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave. But before I do, I wanted to tell you tomorrow at 5 o'clock, same time, we're going to talk about what I think is really the most exciting, is learning the 5 vocal zones. And I say, so today we learned the vertical zones, tomorrow we're going to learn the 5 zones this way. And basically, real quick, it's you have your classical or opera singing here, and then you move up to your Broadway zone, your theater music. Then you have your jazz right there in the middle. Then you pop a little bit more forward for your pop and country. And then I have rock and blues. Blues should be this way because rock and blues is out here. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, the 5 different zones. Don't miss that. If you can, at least come back and watch the replay of it, because that's the technique that was taught to me by Scott Martin years and years and years ago. When I was trying to undo my classical training. I don't want to say undo it. I was trying to learn different styles, so I wasn't singing, how do I get through a night without you? You ever hear singers that are just not singing appropriate for the song? So I had to really unlearn it, and Scott helped me. and he taught Nancy Wilson, the famous jazz singer. He taught Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, so many famous singers have actually studied with him, and so I just felt really grateful to actually be able to study, and then I studied to become a teacher underneath him. So that's how I learned this style. So anything else? Any questions? I'm going to come up and see here. All right. Hey, yeah, thanks, Rory. Good to have you all here. You can post questions. You can post anything. You can send me messages, private messages through here. Remember, this Facebook group is for you, and it's for you to be able to post your singing, post your questions, post your music videos. We just posted one from Rachel Gould. I do artist development for her and management, and so we made a new video for her. You guys can go look at that. I'll talk more about artist development on Friday, but for today, keep your vertical zones and make sure that you really are mastering being able to go to each one individually, smooth them out, and if you want, you can go ahead and flip-de-doodle and try some yodeling. And don't speak in your chest voice like I am right now. You need to speak more up here. This is a much healthier place to speak. Have a really good night. I sound so proper. Bye-bye.